Today, year 1978 holds a special place in the history of American coinage. A seemingly ordinary coin, the Jefferson nickel of that year has gained immense attention not only among numismatists but also among collectors and investors due to its fascinating background, unique characteristics, and unexpected historical importance. Though its face value is just 5 cents, in rare and exceptional conditions, the 1978 Jefferson nickel has been linked to values as high as $78 million in collectors' circles and auction listings. This shocking figure, though controversial and the subject of much debate, has been tied to rare minting errors, pristine uncirculated conditions, and coins with historical provenance, catapulting the 1978 Jefferson nickel from pocket change to museum-worthy treasure. To understand the origin of this immense worth, we first need to consider the cultural and economic context of the United States in 1978. It was a time of transition and turbulence. The country was emerging from the aftermath of the Vietnam War and grappling with inflation, energy crises, and a shifting social landscape. It was in this environment that the U.S. Mint continued its ongoing coinage operations, including the production of the Jefferson nickel, a coin introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel, designed by Felix Schlag. The Jefferson nickel features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse. Over the decades, the design remained largely unchanged, except for minor refinements and temporary design overhauls for commemorative purposes. But the 1978 issue is particularly fascinating because of the convergence of historical context, minting anomalies, and collector demand. That year, Jefferson nickels were struck at 3 U.S. Mint facilities: Philadelphia, No Mint Mark; Denver, D Mint Mark; and San Francisco, S Mint Mark. The Philadelphia and Denver mints focused on producing circulation coins, while the San Francisco Mint produced proof coins intended for collectors. Most 1978 nickels are common in circulated condition and hold little premium. However, there are a select few specimens that stand out due to extraordinary factors that significantly increase their value. Some 1978 Jefferson nickels were struck on the wrong planchets, for instance, on dime or foreign coin planchets, creating highly rare mint errors. Others were double-struck, had off-center strikes, or showed broad strikes with no rims. Additionally, coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, those graded MS 67 or higher by services such as PCGS or NGC, are extremely rare, especially from the Philadelphia Mint where quality control was inconsistent in the late 1970s. These exceptional specimens often fetch thousands to tens of thousands of dollars at auction, but the buzz around a Jefferson nickel being worth $78 million stems from a mix of myth, legend, and a grain of truth. One story that continues to circulate in numismatic communities involves a 1978 Jefferson nickel allegedly struck in ultra-high relief and composed of a 90% silver planchet due to a minting experiment or error. This coin, reportedly in the possession of a private collector for decades, is said to have origins tied to a retired mint employee who claimed it was part of a secret testing series that never went public. If this coin indeed exists, and there are whispered rumors of its verified authentication, it would represent an anomaly so significant that its price in the collector's world could reach an astronomical figure, hence the speculative $78 million face value attributed in collector narratives, apart from error coins and uncirculated rarities. What truly fuels the value of such coins is their scarcity and the human story behind them. Rarity alone does not guarantee value, it must be coupled with collector demand and provenance. Coins with documented history, especially if tied to a major auction, a celebrity collection, or an important historical discovery, often command far higher prices than similar coins without such stories. The mythos surrounding a 1978 Jefferson nickel once belonging to a Cold War diplomat or a prominent political figure adds a narrative layer that enhances its allure. One famous tale tells of a Jefferson nickel found in the drawer of a desk previously owned by a U.S. Treasury official who worked during the Carter administration. The coin, preserved in near-mint condition, became the centerpiece of a bidding war among collectors when it was finally offered at a private auction decades later. While the winning bid was never disclosed, whispers in numismatic circles suggest it may have surpassed all known sales of Jefferson nickels, becoming the genesis of the legendary $78 million valuation. Another aspect that drives fascination is the physical design and condition of the coin itself. While the Jefferson nickel's design is often considered simple and utilitarian compared to more artistically ambitious coins, there is beauty in its symmetry and balance. Coins with full steps on the reverse, a detail indicating a sharp strike and well-preserved features of Monticello's staircase, are especially sought after. Full steps Jefferson nickels from 1978, particularly those graded MS 67 or higher, are exceedingly rare and can command massive premiums. Moreover, the role of third-party grading services in establishing the legitimacy and grade of a coin cannot be overstated. Without professional certification, it is difficult to validate claims of rarity or condition. Grading adds both credibility and liquidity to rare coins, making them more attractive to investors. In fact, the concept of coin grading has elevated many obscure or forgotten coins into the limelight, with collectors willing to pay exponentially more for the assurance of authenticity and high grade. The Jefferson nickel from 1978 has also gained popularity thanks to social media platforms and online auction sites, where coin enthusiasts share discoveries and bidding frenzies can elevate prices in real time. In some cases, coins once valued at a few dollars have skyrocketed overnight due to viral videos or influencer attention. The growing interest in tangible assets during periods of economic uncertainty, like the one faced in 1978 and again in recent years, has turned coins into not just collectibles, but also alternative investment vehicles. Beyond just financial value, the 1978 Jefferson nickel represents a slice of American heritage. It reflects the craftsmanship of U.S. mint workers, the evolving landscape of American politics and society, and the quirks of economic shifts. Each coin carries the invisible fingerprints of history, whether it was exchanged at a local grocery store, tucked away in a collector's album, or minted with a one-in-a-billion error. These small metallic discs are miniature time capsules. The fascination with the 1978 Jefferson nickel also underscores a broader truth in numismatics. Value is often a product of mystery, scarcity, and human curiosity. It is why stories of million-dollar pennies, ultra-rare dimes, and mythical coins continue to captivate generations. They awaken the treasure hunter in all of us, urging us to look twice at the change in our pockets or revisit an old coin jar in the attic. The U.S. Mint, though meticulous, has never been immune to errors. Minting mistakes, design anomalies, and material mix-ups have birthed some of the most sought-after and debated coins in American history. Whether intentional, accidental, or the product of clandestine operations, these imperfections have proven to be pure gold for collectors. The 1978 Jefferson nickel, whether or not it ever sells for $78 million, will remain a symbol of numismatic wonder. It demonstrates how something seemingly ordinary can become extraordinary through the lens of history, rarity, and human fascination. Each of these nickels carries with it a question: could this be the one? And it is in that question where the real value lies. As collectors continue to chase down perfect specimens, uncover forgotten hoards, or debate the truth behind minting myths, one thing is certain: coins like the 1978 Jefferson nickel ensure that the story of American currency remains alive, dynamic, and endlessly intriguing. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the 1978 Jefferson nickel and its mysterious journey from 5 cents to a potential $78 million marvel, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more stories about coins that changed history. Next, the history of American coinage. There are moments when a seemingly ordinary coin becomes the centerpiece of mystery, value, and fascination. One such coin is the 1991 Jefferson nickel, which has become a topic of discussion among collectors and history enthusiasts alike. While most nickels from that year are commonly found in circulation and are worth no more than their face value of 5 cents, there exists a rare narrative surrounding the 1991 edition that has captivated imaginations. Rumors, documented auction anomalies, and collector intrigue have all contributed to the belief that this coin might be worth as much as $91 million under unique circumstances. The story of the Jefferson nickel begins in 1938, when it replaced the Buffalo nickel. The new design was created to honor Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and a principal author of the Declaration of Independence. The obverse of the nickel featured a profile portrait of Jefferson, while the reverse displayed Monticello, his famous estate in Virginia. This design, by sculptor Felix Schlag, remained in place for decades and became an iconic symbol of American change. In 1991, the United States Mint produced millions of these coins, with production taking place primarily at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. However, it's the rare minting errors, low mintage proofs, and special condition pieces that have raised eyebrows. Over time, collectors have reported owning Jefferson nickels from 1991 with unusual features, such as double strikes, off-center images, and die cracks, all of which can significantly enhance a coin's value. But beyond these technical oddities, there is one particular coin, or perhaps a very small group of them, that has been whispered about in numismatic circles for years. These are the coins said to be valued at an astounding $91 million. The tale of the $91 million Jefferson nickel is one that blends history, myth, and collector obsession. Allegedly, a high-ranking mint official in the early 1990s commissioned the production of a small number of ultra-fine specimens of the 1991 Jefferson nickel as a secret project. These were struck using a unique alloy and with ultra-precise minting technology, then quietly removed from official records. Supposedly, one of these coins surfaced in a private auction, where it was acquired by a wealthy collector for a confidential sum that has been rumored to be in the range of tens of millions. The seller, a retired U.S. Mint employee, left behind a cryptic note referencing the presidential proof of 91, a term that has never been officially recognized but has become the nickname for this elusive coin. Of course, numismatic purists often dismiss such stories as urban legends, the coin world's version of folklore. Yet, the allure persists. Every time a 1991 Jefferson nickel is found in exceptional condition, collectors revisit the legend, examining the coin for any anomalies that could set it apart from the millions of others produced that year. Some have pointed to slight deviations in the font of the date, or differences in the way Jefferson's hair curls appear on the obverse. Others obsess over the detail in Monticello's columns or the spacing between letters in the word Monticello on the reverse. Any variation could be a clue, a breadcrumb leading to a coin that might rewrite numismatic history. There is also the economic angle to consider. Coin values can skyrocket under the right circumstances. Rarity, condition, provenance, and demand all play a role. The famous 1913 Liberty Head nickel is one of the best examples. Only 5 known specimens exist, and one sold for over $4 million. The 1933 Double Eagle gold coin, which was never officially released to the public, sold for nearly $19 million in 2021. When rare items emerge from obscurity, especially those with stories that tie them to the inner workings of the U.S. Mint or to significant historical figures, the value can become astronomical. So why not a 1991 Jefferson nickel? One major component of the $91 million valuation comes from the coin's symbolic face value. The story goes that when the coin was being secretly designed, the individual behind it insisted on embedding a metaphorical value into the project $91 million to mirror the year 1991 and to signify the beginning of a new economic vision. This symbolic interpretation, while not legally recognized, has become a cornerstone of the legend. It's said that this value was meant to represent the promise of America's future prosperity, and the coin itself as a hidden artifact of that dream. There is also a philosophical allure in the idea that something so mundane, a nickel, could hold such extraordinary value. It challenges perceptions, reshapes how we think about money, and reveals the deep psychological connection people have with rare and mysterious objects. The coin becomes more than currency, it becomes a story, a puzzle, a piece of living history. This is why collectors scour auctions, estate sales, and old coin jars, hoping to find the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. Several private collectors and dealers claim to have seen or held a version of the 1991 Jefferson nickel that could be the one. Descriptions vary, but common threads include perfect centering, mirror-like surfaces, and micro-engravings not present on standard mint issues. One notable claim came from a collector in New York who published high-resolution images of his coin online, pointing out minute differences in the rim width and subtle distortions in the letters E pluribus unum. While the coin was never officially authenticated as the fabled $91 million piece, it did sell at a private sale for a reported 7-figure amount. No confirmation was ever made public, but the buzz it created reignited global interest in the 1991 Jefferson nickel. Meanwhile, historical researchers continue to dig into U.S. Mint archives, hoping to find any documentation or memos that could validate the story. Thus far, no definitive records have surfaced, but occasional mentions of test patterns or classified runs for 1991 nickels have added fuel to the fire. Former Mint employees, when interviewed, have offered conflicting testimonies. Some outright deny the possibility, while others coyly hint at secrets locked away in vaults and institutional memory. The truth remains elusive, yet tantalizingly close, regardless of whether the $91 million Jefferson nickel truly exists in a physical sense or lives solely in legend. Its impact on the coin collecting world is undeniable. It has inspired a generation of numismatists to look deeper, study harder, and preserve history with even greater care. It has turned everyday pocket change into potential treasure and given even the most novice collector a reason to examine every nickel that passes through their hands. Even modern technology has joined the hunt. Advanced scanning equipment, AI-powered identification tools, and high-resolution imaging software have been used to analyze 1991 nickels down to the atomic level. There are even apps that allow collectors to input photos of their coins and receive instant feedback on potential value. Some of these tools have helped identify rare errors and limited-run proofs, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in coin evaluation. But despite all this technology, the myth of the $91 million nickel remains unsolved, keeping the mystery alive. Coin conventions, collector forums, and YouTube channels are filled with passionate debates about the possibility of such a coin. Every time someone posts a new find, an uncirculated 1991 Jefferson nickel with full steps, for example, the community springs into action, eager to weigh in. Theories are tested, photographic evidence scrutinized, and hypotheses exchanged. It's a collaborative pursuit that spans continents and generations, uniting people with a shared love for history and the unknown. The 1991 Jefferson nickel has become more than a collectible, it's a symbol. It represents the magic of possibility, the excitement of discovery, and the enduring appeal of American coinage. Whether or not the $91 million figure is ever validated, the legend itself has already carved out its place in history. It serves as a reminder that history is not just found in textbooks or museums. Sometimes it jingles in your pocket, unrecognized, waiting for the right eyes to see its true worth. And if you're holding a 1991 Jefferson nickel right now, maybe it's time to take a closer look. You never know what secrets might be hidden in plain sight. Coin collecting is about more than just money, it's about stories, mysteries, and the thrill of the hunt. From an overlooked 5-cent piece can rise a multimillion-dollar legend, connecting the past to the present and captivating the minds of those who seek to uncover the extraordinary within the ordinary. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon so you never miss out on more incredible coin stories and hidden treasures from history. Next, 1986. The United States Mint produced millions of coins as part of the nation's ongoing monetary system, but among the most circulated denominations, two in particular captured the attention of collectors and enthusiasts over the decades: the $quarter and the Jefferson nickel. Though they may have seemed like ordinary coins at the time, these pieces of 1986 American currency have, through a combination of history, rarity, error, condition, and collector fascination, gained legendary status in the numismatic community. Today, stories surrounding the 1986 quarter and the 1986 Jefferson nickel continue to circulate widely, with some coins reportedly valued at a staggering $86 million, drawing attention across global platforms and igniting the dreams of coin hunters and history buffs alike. The 1986 quarter dollar, part of the Washington Quarter series that began in 1932, was initially struck in both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. This coin featured the familiar profile of George Washington, with the word "Liberty" prominently displayed at the top, the date, 1986, below his chin, and the iconic phrase, "In God We Trust," to the left. The reverse of the coin carried the traditional heraldic eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch, a symbol of strength and peace. For many Americans, these coins passed from hand to hand unnoticed, paying for small goods, vending machine items, or finding their way into piggy banks. Few realized that decades later, this simple coin might be the key to a potential treasure point. One of the reasons behind the meteoric rise in value of some 1986 quarters is the emergence of rare mint errors. Among the most sought after are off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, and coins struck on wrong planchets. Some 1986 quarters have been discovered with striking anomalies, such as a double date or lettering, which significantly increases their appeal and rarity. These error coins are not just mishaps, they are the product of complex circumstances inside the mint, each mistake carrying a fingerprint of the machinery, the die alignment, or the operator's oversight. As with many rare collectibles, the rarity drives the value, and collectors often pay extraordinary sums to add these rarities to their collections, but beyond errors, the value of some 1986 quarters is also tied to their condition. Coins graded as MS 67 or higher by reputable grading agencies like PCGS or NGC can command serious premiums. Mint state coins are those that have never seen circulation and show no signs of wear, exhibiting full detail and pristine surfaces. In rare cases, a 1986 quarter preserved in superb gem condition, with vibrant luster and well-struck features, can fetch thousands, or, in stories that have gone viral, millions of dollars at auction. These ultra-rare examples are the exception, not the rule, but they continue to inspire a fervent community of collectors who meticulously search through rolls, bags, and even pocket change. Meanwhile, the 1986 Jefferson nickel also has an extraordinary story of its own. First introduced in 1938 to replace the Buffalo nickel, the Jefferson nickel featured a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, his Virginia home, on the reverse. By 1986, the design had become a familiar part of American life, yet the coins produced that year held mysteries that only emerged much later. As with the quarter, certain 1986 nickels have risen to prominence due to rare mint errors and condition rarity. In particular, stories of 1986 Jefferson nickels struck on the wrong planchet or featuring double dies have emerged over the years. These coins, depending on the severity and clarity of the error, can be extremely valuable. One legendary example includes a 1986 nickel struck on a cent planchet, which gave the coin a coppery appearance rather than the usual nickel sheen. Another notable case involved a coin with significant doubling on Jefferson's I and lettering, creating a ghostly image that numismatists find mesmerizing. These errors are not just rare, they represent moments when the complex mechanics of coin production slipped briefly out of sync, resulting in artifacts that now captivate the attention of collectors. Aside from mint errors, the 1986 Jefferson nickel has become a coin of interest because of condition rarity. While hundreds of millions of nickels were produced that year, few have survived in pristine condition. Time, handling, and storage conditions all take their toll on coins. Finding a 1986 nickel in MS 66 or higher, with full steps on Monticello, an indicator of a strong strike, is exceedingly difficult. Coins with full steps are particularly prized by collectors and often form the centerpiece of high-end Jefferson nickel sets. The surge in value and interest around the 1986 Jefferson nickel and quarter is also part of a larger phenomenon in numismatics, the convergence of history, scarcity, and collector demand. Coins are not just currency, they are tangible links to the past, miniature time capsules that tell stories of politics, culture, and technology. The year 1986, nestled between the economic shifts of the early 1980s and the digital revolutions to come, holds a certain nostalgia. For some, owning a pristine 1986 coin is a way of preserving a piece of that time. Over the years, reports of coins fetching massive sums at auctions have made headlines. Whether the legendary $86 million valuation attributed to some 1986 quarters and nickels is based on authenticated auction results, private sales, or internet exaggeration, the stories have taken on a life of their own. In truth, most 1986 coins are worth their face value or slightly more in circulated condition. But in rare cases, when a coin features an exceptional error, stunning condition, and enthusiastic bidding, prices can indeed soar to astonishing levels. These instances are rare, but they happen often enough to spark widespread interest. The mythos of the $86 million coin serves as both an inspiration and a cautionary tale. It illustrates how easily stories can grow in the age of viral media, but also how the dream of finding a valuable coin is not entirely unfounded. Collectors and enthusiasts often spend years honing their knowledge, refining their eye for detail, and understanding the nuances of grading and die varieties. For them, the thrill lies not just in the money but in the discovery, the chase, and the satisfaction of learning. Many people today are turning to coin collecting as both a hobby and an investment. YouTube channels, social media platforms, and online marketplaces are filled with content about rare coins, grading tips, and hidden treasures. Some collectors specialize in Jefferson nickels, poring over every date and mint mark in search of a key variety or the elusive full steps. Others build Washington quarter sets and hope to find that perfect example with an early die state and flawless luster. The community is vibrant and growing, fueled in part by stories like the 1986 coins that continue to generate curiosity and excitement. As with all collectibles, the most valuable coins are those authenticated by trusted grading services. If you believe you found a rare 1986 coin, it's wise to submit it for professional grading. Not only does this validate its authenticity and condition, but it also establishes a baseline for market value. Coins that have been encapsulated and graded tend to perform better at auction, as they remove the guesswork and offer peace of mind to potential buyers. The fascination with coins goes beyond value. For some, a 1986 quarter or nickel might evoke memories of childhood, of receiving change at a corner store, or of the clinking sound of coins in a grandfather's jar. These coins, small as they may be, carry emotional weight. They represent a time, a place, a piece of American life that continues to live on in metal form. Coin stories like those of the 1986 quarter and Jefferson nickel also open the door to conversations about history, economics, and craftsmanship. They highlight the intricate process behind coin minting, the changing technologies, and the enduring appeal of tangible assets in an increasingly digital world. Even as credit cards, mobile payments, and cryptocurrencies rise, the humble coin remains a powerful symbol of value, heritage, and continuity. So whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a curious newcomer, the world of 1986 coins invites you to take a closer look. Check your change, explore your old jars and drawers, and see if you might be holding on to something extraordinary. Every rare coin began as an ordinary one, and the only difference between a common piece and a multimillion-dollar rarity is awareness, condition, and sometimes, just a bit of luck. And if you've enjoyed this deep dive into the history, value, and enduring mystery of the 1986 quarter dollar and Jefferson nickel, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join us on more journeys into the fascinating world of coin collecting. Who knows what treasure you'll uncover next? Next, the vast and intricate landscape of United States coinage. Few pieces have captured the imagination of collectors and history enthusiasts quite like the 1997 Jefferson nickel. Though it might seem like a standard 5-cent coin at first glance, its story, historical significance, and the surprising value some place upon it elevate this coin far beyond its face value. The Jefferson nickel series, first introduced in 1938, has long been a staple in the pockets of Americans, but the 1997 edition holds a place of special fascination due to rare variations, potential minting errors, and an ever-growing lore among numismatists. In some circles, the value attributed to this coin has ballooned to astonishing figures, with exaggerated estimates suggesting a face value as symbolically high as $97 million, reflecting the coin's mint year. To understand the enthusiasm surrounding the 1997 Jefferson nickel, we must start by exploring its origins. The Jefferson nickel replaced the Buffalo nickel in 1938, with a design by artist Felix Schlag that featured Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, his estate, on the reverse. This design remained largely unchanged for decades, providing a sense of continuity in American pocket change. However, by the late 1990s, the U.S. Mint was making gradual improvements to its minting technology, which inadvertently introduced a range of unique error coins and anomalies. These rare versions have become some of the most sought after by collectors, especially from a year like 1997, which sits at the crossroads of traditional and modern minting practices. Collectors began to notice that certain 1997 Jefferson nickels displayed peculiar features. Some exhibited double dies, where design elements appear twice due to a misalignment in the die striking process. Others had off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, or planchet flaws, issues arising when the metal disc used for minting isn't prepared correctly. These errors, while unintentional, created extremely limited edition coins, driving up demand among specialists and speculative buyers alike. The perceived rarity of these nickels, especially those in uncirculated condition or possessing dramatic visual anomalies, created a niche market where prices could soar. Part of what contributes to the 1997 Jefferson nickel's reputation for extraordinary value is the mythology that surrounds it. Coin collecting often involves more than just numbers, it's a discipline filled with stories. Enthusiasts, historians, and hobbyists trade tales of once-forgotten nickels discovered in old jars or dusty attics, now commanding thousands, or, in the case of hyperbole, even millions. While no official valuation by a reputable institution places the 1997 nickel at anywhere near $97 million, this exaggerated claim underscores the coin's place in the public imagination. It's not so much that the coin is literally worth millions, but rather that it has become a symbol of how even the smallest and most ordinary objects can hold vast significance under the right circumstances. There's also something inherently fascinating about the idea of a 5-cent piece being worth a fortune. It challenges our understanding of value, encouraging us to look closer at the things we might otherwise ignore. For many, the 1997 Jefferson nickel embodies this principle. Some believe that one day, a rare minting error from that year could fetch an astronomical price at auction, turning the humble nickel into a golden ticket. Whether or not this dream materializes in the literal sense, the excitement it generates is very real, inspiring countless people to check their change and learn more about numismatics. The market for Jefferson nickels, and especially for standout years like 1997, remains active. Collectors often scour estate sales, online marketplaces, and coin shows in hopes of finding that one exceptional piece. Grading services like the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, and the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, play a key role in this, helping to authenticate and grade coins based on their condition, strike quality, and rarity. A 1997 Jefferson nickel graded at MS 67 or above, meaning it's in near perfect condition, can command a respectable price, sometimes in the hundreds or low thousands of dollars. When compounded with a significant mint error, those numbers can increase significantly. It's within this complex web of grading, rarity, and collector fervor that the legend of the $97 million nickel was born. One of the more intriguing aspects of the 1997 Jefferson nickel is the speculative value attributed to coins with full steps. This term refers to the staircase on Monticello, visible on the reverse side of the coin. A coin with clearly defined and uninterrupted steps is considered particularly well struck and is therefore more desirable to collectors. Full steps Jefferson nickels are harder to find because achieving that level of detail requires a perfectly executed strike, something that wasn't always guaranteed with older minting techniques. A 1997 nickel with full steps, especially if free from other blemishes or wear, can fetch a much higher premium than its circulated counterparts. Beyond condition and error types, the mint location of the coin also matters. Jefferson nickels are typically minted in Philadelphia, marked with AP, Denver, D, or San Francisco, S. The 1997 nickels struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints are the ones most commonly encountered. While San Francisco nickels from other years were produced primarily for proof sets and not for general circulation, the 1997 S-Mint Jefferson nickel exists in proof format only. These proof coins, known for their mirror-like finish and precise detail, are manufactured using specially prepared dies and polished planchets. As a result, they're inherently more valuable to collectors, though not typically due to rarity but because of their quality and presentation. In a broader cultural context, coins like the 1997 Jefferson nickel reflect the American tradition of memorializing figures of national importance. Thomas Jefferson, as a founding father, author of the Declaration of Independence, and third President of the United States, represents ideals of democracy, freedom, and intellectual curiosity. The continued use of his likeness on the nickel for so many decades is a testament to the enduring respect held for him. In that sense, the 1997 Jefferson nickel doesn't just hold monetary value, it also embodies historical memory, political legacy, and national identity. As the Internet has expanded access to numismatic knowledge, the popularity of certain coins has grown exponentially. Social media, forums, YouTube videos, and online auction platforms have all contributed to the spread of information, sometimes accurate, sometimes exaggerated, about coin values. This digital landscape has allowed the story of the 1997 nickels $97 million value to reach a wide audience. Though the figure is more mythical than factual, it has sparked interest among new generations of collectors, turning casual observers into enthusiastic participants in the hobby. Some coin influencers and hobbyists argue that the real treasure of the 1997 Jefferson nickel lies in its ability to teach history, economics, and craftsmanship. Coins are miniature time capsules, often reflecting the technology, artistry, and political sentiments of their era. The 1997 nickel, with its clean design and occasional flaws, illustrates the transition period before the dramatic redesigns of the 2000s. It also hints at the evolving priorities of the U.S. Mint, which began placing more emphasis on commemorative coins and high-quality strikes in subsequent years. It's also worth considering the role of speculative narratives in the coin collecting world. Just like rare baseball cards, comic books, or vintage cars, certain coins become the focus of fantasy-based valuations. These figures, though unsupported by real transactions, serve an important function. They draw people in, inviting them to learn more, to explore their own coin collections, and to ask questions about what might be hiding in their drawers or under couch cushions. The $97 million claim about the 1997 nickel may be exaggerated, but its effect is very real. It encourages curiosity, engagement, and a deeper appreciation for the smallest pieces of history. Coin collecting thrives on stories, and the 1997 Jefferson nickel has become a story in its own right. It's a story about possibility, about the hidden gems that might be out there waiting to be discovered. It's a story that turns everyday objects into artifacts of fascination. Whether it's a true error coin with full steps in pristine condition or a common circulated piece with sentimental value, each nickel contributes to a much larger narrative, one of discovery, learning, and connection through history. As we continue to explore the history of American coinage, it's coins like the 1997 Jefferson nickel that keep the passion alive. They remind us that sometimes, greatness hides in plain sight. You don't need a vault full of gold to possess something valuable. Sometimes, all it takes is a keen eye, a little knowledge, and a nickel. And if you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss another look into the hidden treasures of history.